نظرشون میرسه که
They say we sent a warship toward Iran. It is very good, indeed a dangerous piece of equipment, but even more dangerous than a warship is a weapon that can send that warship to the bottom of the sea.
Could you give us an update on where your thinking is right now with Iran, if you have made a final decision on what you want to do?
I mean, I certainly can't tell you that, but we do have very big, powerful ships heading in that direction, as you know. I can't tell you, you know.
Okay.
But I hope they negotiate something that's acceptable. Better negotiate a fair deal. They better negotiate. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very sad situation.
Peaceful protests that began last month in Tehran over economic hardship unleashed long-suppressed grievances and swiftly escalated into the most serious existential threat to the Islamic Republic in nearly 5 decades. Authorities cut internet access and crushed demonstrations with lethal force, leaving thousands killed and many more wounded. The establishment blames terrorists linked to Israel and the US, but few inside or outside Iran agree. Popular frustration has reached a breaking point, driven by worsening livelihoods, uncertain futures, and decades of political and social repression. The clerical rulers' domestic and foreign policies have isolated Iranians economically and politically. Years of repression and little hope for change have turned the country into a powder keg. And even a small spark like the small protest in Tehran's Grand Bazaar last month can trigger nationwide unrest. What is at stake is the survival of the Islamic Republic itself. The bloody state crackdown has restored control on the streets for now, but it has also deepened the establishment's crisis of legitimacy. Public anger has surged as fear has diminished. While the state lacks both the political flexibility and the economic capacity to address popular demands, at the same time it faces mounting external pressure. With international sanctions biting and public finances strained, meaningful economic relief depends largely on a nuclear deal with the United States, but talks remain stalled, and Iran rejects key US preconditions, including limits on its missile program. The leadership still depends on a core base of roughly 10 million loyal supporters. Limiting its room for maneuver, any reform risks alienating this base, while much of society now seeks outright political change. Facing a mounting legitimacy crisis, the establishment relies increasingly on coercion. This may stabilize the situation temporarily, but it risks deepening anger and hollowing out the clerical establishment. The Islamic Republic has endured not because it is popular or efficient, but because it is built to absorb pressure and prevent fractures among the elite. Power is concentrated in unelected institutions like the Revolutionary Guards and the security services. So those who control force rarely break ranks, even during mass unrest. Iran's leadership has also learned from history. After seeing how concessions helped bring down the US-backed Shah in 1979, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader, is determined to avoid repeating that mistake, shaping the belief that showing weakness and avoiding bloody crackdown invites collapse. The system remains structurally hardened and strategically adaptive, relying on loyal institutions to weather crisis. However, with rising public anger, intensifying foreign pressure, and an establishment unable or unwilling to meet popular demands, the suppressed protests may still signal the beginning of the end. At the top of Iran's power structure is Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, whose authority extends far beyond elected institutions and officials. Real decision-making flows through his office, a shadow command center that translates his directives into action across the government, security institutions, parliament, and other state bodies. It monitors domestic and foreign developments and briefs Khamenei on strategic issues. He also consults a small circle of clerical, non-clerical, and military advisors whose guidance shapes responses to domestic crises and external threats. The Revolutionary Guards are the backbone of Iran's power structure, a state within a state that combines military strength, intelligence, and economic clout under one command. Created after the 1979 revolution to protect the system, they gained their first economic foothold after the Iran-Iraq war in 1980s and were later rewarded with expanded political influence and financial benefits for enforcing the leadership's authority. The guards also have their own ground forces, navy, and aerospace force, including missiles and drones, and they oversee Iran's regional operations. They answer only to Khamenei, who relies on them as the ultimate enforcer of internal control. While the constitution gives a clerical body the formal role of selecting a successor, in practice the guards, networks of loyal clerics, and Khamenei's inner circle are expected to play the decisive role, ensuring continuity of the establishment's policies under his successor. It's not yet clear if, when, and how the Islamic Republic could collapse, or what shape such a change could take. One scenario is like Libya in 2011, where widespread domestic unrest and armed opposition weakened central authority and foreign military intervention accelerated its fall. Another is similar to Iraq in 2003, where foreign military action removed the leadership, followed by internal unrest and sectarian clashes. A third outcome could follow a Venezuela-style path in which economic crisis and external pressure gradually weaken the state, yet the system survives in some form despite leadership changes. And the fourth possibility is a managed elite translation inside Iran, in which entrenched insiders deliberately moderate leadership to preserve core institutions and the Islamic Republic. Here, change is guided by elites rather than driven by external intervention. Some moderate politicians have suggested replacing Khamenei with a moderate successor, but many protesters have made it clear that they want the Islamic Republic to go.